much history. He's your countryman. How is it different being Dillian?
What, now fighting Hellenius now?
No, that he's been test positive. Yeah.
It's happened, man. It happens in this sport. It's not new. It's happened to me already. I'm just happy I invest in this anti-doping stuff, because if not, I'll be fighting people and I'm having an unfair advantage. You're right. Thank you very much. I'm having an unfair advantage. Like, let me say, boxing is tough as it is, right? Imagine fighting someone on dope as well.
But all that he's said about you and all the history you have, what's your message to him?
A lot of people say about me. You know what I mean? You're good, yeah? A lot of people say about me, and it baffles me, because I don't know. I just think, how are you going to talk so reckless about me when the two people that have said the most are the ones who have been caught up in these allegations? Look, I don't wish bad on anyone. I'm not sitting there laughing at Dillian Whyte's downfall, but what he's going through is difficult for him, but it's not good for boxing.
You think he should be allowed to fight again if this turns out to be true?
What, that he was doping?
Yeah, the second sample comes back, it's doping.
I don't know. I'm going to sit on the fence with that one, because why would you make a mockery out of him when there's so many other fighters that have been found to be guilty and they're still fighting? I find it strange. And we can mention people at the top, and we can mention people that are at the bottom as well that have been found guilty for doping that are still fighting. So I don't know. What are the rules of it?
And those are the words of Anthony Joshua as he responds to Dillian Whyte. He gave his opinion about Dillian Whyte and, really, to be fair, Jarrell Miller. And he pretty much put them in the same boat. They're in the same boat, in the same circle. And, you know, his response is, well, how are you going to be talking about me when you're testing positive? Well, what I find interesting this is what I find interesting. They were like, okay, well, where's your stance on that, AJ? You know, if he was doping, what do you think they should do with him? And he's like, well, I don't know. I mean, because shit, look at all the people that he's, you know, that's done and tested positive before. You know, what are you going to do about him? The rules are different for each one, and I think they should be standard for each one. But I do want you guys to pay attention to what AJ said as far as, let me see if I can find it.
And they're still fighting. I find it strange. And we can mention people at the top, and we can mention people that are at the bottom as well that have been found.
Okay, if you heard it, it was kind of low, but he said you can mention people at the top. Okay. Who was at the top that got popped? Bars. Canelo Alverez. You see what I mean? So what AJ's saying, without saying, basically, the top people, which is Canelo Alverez, in 2018, he got popped with clenbuterol. They gave him a 6-month suspension, slap on the wrist, no fines, no any of that. And he was fighting Gennady Golovkin later in the year. Okay, and he beat Gennady Golovkin in the rematch. He only fought once in 2018 because of that reason, right? Okay, that's who he was talking about. So, and here's the thing. If AJ was more transparent of what he was saying without talking in riddles like he's Jesus, we would really know what he was saying, or he could really make an impact on what he actually says. Because what he says, or what he's telling people, he really wants to tell people certain things. But he doesn't really want to just come out and tell people certain things. But he wants people to know how he feels about certain things. So in other words, what Anthony Joshua was saying, because I can say it, he's saying, why are you giving Dillian Whyte stick when there are guys at the top, Canelo Alverez, that were tested positive in 2 and they're still fighting? So why are you banning Dillian Whyte? And speaking of Dillian Whyte, I want people to understand this about Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte was cleared in 2019. This just makes it look worse in 2023 simply because of previous complications at that time. But the previous complications were cleared. So even if it was some dirty, hot, pissy shit, now that still means he can't come back in a couple years or whatever. So, but he should be banned. But then here's the deal. If he is banned, who says and who makes those judgments? It's almost like a court of law in the U.S. It's a joke. Some people can get off from doing heinous shit. Other people fry and do life in prison. So I think it should be a situation where it should be a standard. Okay? And Anthony Joshua is right, though. Talking about guys like Dillian, Whyte, Jarrell Miller, you know, they're talking about people testing dirty, but then yet they end up testing dirty. You know, that has hypocrite written all over it. However, I will go live tomorrow and explain why they're saying, I believe that those guys were coming out and saying that against AJ. But you guys tell me what you think about AJ responding to Dillian Whyte's dirty blood test or drug test. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.